Alright, so today I'm supposed to be doing day 6, but instead of me doing live on this, since I'm trying to learn Rust, so I think what I do instead is I will first finish my problem first, and then I will do a video explaining what I did. And hopefully by explaining what I did, maybe I can find out, okay, if there's any places I can fix, or yeah, in general. So let's get started. So I finished day 6, and here is the general solution. So well, first of all, I start by reading the file in the main function. So I read the input file, and then I create a string so I can read the file content into this variable, right? So file read to string. I actually want to see how this is implemented. Why is my okay? So read to string that it takes a string, right? It takes okay. Wait, what's the signature again? So I passing the variable, like the string variable I want to store it to, right? Okay, I guess that's my buffer. Let size, buffer capacity, required buffer reserve. Interesting. Unwrap size, unwrap or 0, and then reserve the buffer space, and IO default read to string. Interesting. All right, what does this do? Unsave. All right, I see. Append to string. Interesting. Okay, I guess is it because the standard libraries there's just like their stuff can be implemented on save until they can kind of make sure it's actually safe to use, but usually you don't use any unsafe keyword, I assume. Anyway, that's interesting. What is buffer space required? Buffer capacity required. So size, file metadata. The file metadata. This okay. Wait, I'm not getting this. So I do a map. Why do I do it okay here? But wait, what's my wait? How does this give me a U64 though? Hmm. Let me ask. How does this give me a U64? I'm not really understanding why this is a. What if can I do collect on that? No? Why can I not just collect on it? Interesting. Anyway, so I may not read this. Anyways, this reads about into content, and I do. So what I do is since the computations are actually the same, but rather the parsing is different. So I wrote to hopper function is one to parse the part one input, and the other one to parse the part two output. And yeah, so here I defined a struct arrays. So I want to store a time and distance. So I don't want. Actually, I think can I just use a tuple for that? Let's see. So tuple. I think it's called name tuple, right? or maybe actually, yeah, I guess name tuple or this works too. So this is a get distance function. It's actually pretty trivial to see. Like, just given the whole time and total time, you just do it. You can quickly do this and it gives you the distance back. So yeah, let's take a look at the parse part one input. Since we want a bunch of races, right? So what I did first is if we take a look at the input.txt, we first have a time array kind of, and then we have another vector of distance. So this means we can just do, so we read the input line by line. This is kind of helpful as I realized you can do like input dot lines or input dot bytes, which is pretty nice. And input is just a string, right? I think dot lines just looks for like the line space separator. Let's actually take a look, because why not? Oh, all right. Yeah, split inclusive. So it kind of just does split on the separator, right? Anyways, so and then this is and then after you do that, you can split on white spaces. And then since I know the first entry is always like either time or distance, I can do a skip, which is like pretty handy. I can just skip one from the iterator. Yeah. Oh, because split white space returns a iterator, right? Yeah, it does. Pretty nice. And then I have to parse each input, each entry of the vector. And this is another thing I found that's pretty handy is like since parse parse needs to know what data type to coerce into. So here I have to define this U64, and then parse would know, okay, wow, this is gonna parse the S into a U64. I'm not sure if I've like did the error handling good enough, expect, or can I do like anyways, I don't know. Oh, because okay, expect what this is gonna be the error message. Anyways, and I'm not really sure collect do actually transform. Oh, okay, transform iterable into collection. So I assume this case it transform my iterable to like a vector. Am I understanding that correctly? Collect. Oh, it depends, right? It depends what am I collecting into. Right. I can collect into whatever the type I want to. It seems like very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And then this is like kind of stupid. I just check what this slice actually is, and I throw that into the values. I'm not sure why I'm using extending. I could have just assigned it, I think, right? Probably. And then this is the part is where since I have a time values and this value, I want to just zip them together. So that for zipping, apparently, if we like take a look at how the function works, seems like it just like two iterators, right? So I have myself. I think that's an iterator. Then we have this zip, whatever that is, to join into another. I think it might just it just needs another iterator. Is it possible if I don't passing? I think this still. Oh no, it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't. Never mind. Zip just takes. Actually, let's take a look at the docs, right? So how it works. So to let's say for example here to zip this to we do like okay a1 iter and zip takes another iterator and what is this? So s2. Okay. Since the argument to zip uses into iterator, we can parse anything that's can be current, not just iter itself. Interesting. So you can right. So wait. Since the argument to use into iter, we can pass anything that can be converted into iter. Slices. Oh, so I guess. Oh, I actually want to ask. I want to see what's the difference this versus if I don't put the this, okay. Oh, so without the, I actually don't, without the and sign, it's an array, but then with it, it's a slice. I see. I see. That's okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, whoops. Let's see more. Let's read more on this. So, I can do first into iterator. And then do my. Okay. So that makes sense. It's pretty interesting. There's like a lot of stuff you can do with this. Cool. Anyways, and then we collect, right? And it does know what to collect into. Wait, if I don't do collect, yeah, you must. Okay. Okay, we'll see error message. I just want to read it. So, expect struct. Yeah, we want a vector race, but what do we got instead? That's a very complicated looking type. I'm not gonna try to read it. Okay. Yeah, and parse. This is not really interesting. It's kind of the same deal. And then let's take a look at the compute. So what I did is we want a number as output, in this case U64. I tried U32, but that kind of overflow for part 2. So I bumped it to U64. So for race, we can first into an iterator and then we can map on it, right? So in this case, what we want is that for each race, we want to count the amount of time when, like, breaking the record happens. So I just initialize a mutable variable and then return that. So every time, like, if the get distance is larger than the record, let's say, if it's true, that true is pretty nice. That true statement in Rust. I think it has it in OCaml or Haskell or something too, but I don't remember exactly. So when this is true, I increment the breakcount +1 and then return the breakcount. And then this is pretty neat because I can, so see here, this is an iterable, right? Iterable of U64. And I can literally just call product on it and it gives me the product, which is like very neat, I think. Yeah, not super interesting, but it's like little neat stuff in Rust, I guess. Anyways, and then some unit tests. Pretty convenient when unit test can be just like, in the same file and just like, just do mod tasks with, I think this is called a trait, right? It is called a trait. Yeah, this called a trait. No, it's not a trait. What is it called? It's an attribute macro. Aha. Okay. Let me just know that this is called a attribute macro. Actually, Rust. Actually, let me just make sure it is not lying to me. Actually, I'm not really understanding this. Maybe I probably need to read a bit more macros. That's already chapter 19. Okay. Okay, I'm not really understanding this, but that's okay. Well, I'll come back to this later. And then another thing, I should probably read the book a bit more about this because for unit tests, I must add this use super thing to get access to those functions. Actually, let's see. What is? I think it's somewhere in the chapter, but I forgot. I think this managing. Yeah, this probably is the one. So scope and okay. I'm trying to find where the super keyword is. Here we go. Is it because this mod doesn't technically have access to it, so you have to? Oh wait. Uh. Wait, actually, let me just ask GPT. Why do I need? Yeah. Use source is to bring items from parent module into scope. Ah, I see. So I guess this is a module, and then whatever that's outside is like a parent module, I assume. Can I do module within modules? Like, lol. Is that valid? Oh, I can do that. Right, let's see now. Can I call stuff that's outside though? Use. I'm just curious how that will work. So, can I do par? Looks like my LSP just broke. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's Am I doing something that's not sure exactly though? I'm not sure if it's yeah, interesting. Yeah, anyways, I'll read a bit more on this and then see how that works. But yeah, this is pretty much yeah for this Rust solution day 6. I'll continue with this tomorrow probably and see how we doing. But this is probably like one of the problem on the easier side, so it's probably a good day for me to start learning some Rust. And I may do some of the earlier problems in Rust just to get more practice. But yeah, still have to do day 7, and that's it for day 6.